नहीं हमણાં नहीं flash will not on the map. સંધ્યાબેન હમણાં સ્ટોપ કરી દો શેર. હા હું કહીશ તમને. મેં કીધું ને કે આપણે we have just started streaming live on the YouTube. We wait for a couple of more minutes. Then I'll introduce you and then we'll start the meeting.
એક મિનિટ જસ્ટ ચેક કરી લઉં છું.
તમારું ઇકો બહુ આવે છે. તમારું બીજું છે મને દેખાય છે. હું એને રિમૂવ કરી દઉં બીજા ઇન્સ્ટ્રુમેન્ટ ને બીજા ડિવાઇસ
કરી દો. શેર સ્ક્રીન કરીને જોઈ લો.
I'm just introducing you now and then we'll start the meeting. That time you can share. So good morning friends. Welcome back to Saturday Club morning meeting. Today we have very hotly debated subject, that is stem cell banking, hype or hope. This is one topic which is always debated in pediatric conferences as well as OG conferences. And for that we have Dr. Sandhya Harpade. She's a very well-known obstetrician of Baroda, in practice for more than 35 years now. And she was past president of Baroda Obstetric and Gynec Society, which won the Best Branch Award during her tenure. And she's associated with several social organizations. She has several publications to her credit, and she is a very popular speaker at various levels. Her areas of interest are high-risk obstetrics, sonography, and infertility. So over to you, Dr. Sandhya, for your talk on stem cell banking. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Over to you, Dr. Sandhya.
Good morning, friends. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Satish Pandya for giving me an opportunity to talk in this group of academicians. And today I'm going to talk on a very hot topic, as Dr. Satish Bhai said, that is stem cell banking, whether it is hype or hope. The word stem cell collection, research and therapy evoke a number of responses. In emotionally vulnerable patients, a sense of hope. In scientists, a great deal of excitement about future prospects. In the case of legal experts and ethicists, a need to ensure that patient safety and proper justice are maintained. And in the mind of entrepreneurs, an opportunity to develop a profitable business. So now we will see both the sides of this coin, whether there is hype or hope. The stem cell banking started in 1994 with foundation of New York Blood Center Cord Blood Bank. The sources of stem cells, as we all know, they are embryonic stem cells, adult stem cells, cord blood stem cells, and amniotic stem cells. The embryonic
stem cells. On a slide, so?
Yes.
If you can please do that, otherwise this will also work.
The embryonic stem cells, they come from embryos 3 to 5 days old, that is from the blastocyst. They are totipotent cells. The adult stem cells, they are found in small numbers in most adult tissues such as bone marrow, fat, mesenchymal stem cells. The cord blood stem cells, they come from umbilical cord and the cord blood. The advantages of cord blood cells are they are easily accessible and you can access in large number. And there is less chance of rejection if it comes from the recipient's own blood. And lastly, the amniotic stem cells from amniotic fluid. These cells are to be obtained from the amniotic fluid, and for that we need to do amniocentesis, which is a risky procedure and hence it is not recommended. Now let us see what are the types of stem cells. Totipotent stem cells, they can differentiate into possible all types, as for example, embryonic stem cells. Similarly, pluripotent can also differentiate into all possible cell types. They also come from early embryo. The multipotent can differentiate into closely related family of cells. For an example, adult hemopoietic stem cell, which can differentiate into RBCs and WBCs. The oligopotent can differentiate into few differentiated stem cells. For an example, adult lymphoid or myeloid stem cell. And unipotent can produce cell of only one kind of their own type, like adult muscle stem cell. The advantages of stem cell therapies are, it is safe autologous therapy because there is low risk of rejection of the material of the donor. It is ethically responsible treatment. The today's stem cell treatment does not allow use of embryonic stem cells. Hence, it is very ethical and it is very much acceptable therapy. The stem cells, they bring versatility because they have n number of applications in the different types of diseases, right from ligamentous tear to spinal cord injury to Alzheimer's, heart disease, diabetes, and so on. The treatment is faster because it is easy to.
Sanjay, when your slides are not moving, huh? I am seeing only one slide, and that is embryonic stem cells, adult stem cells. Are you on the same slide or you are on a different slide?
No, I have changed the slide.
So it's not moving here. Some technical problem, and it's not on slides also. If you don't mind, no, I will share the presentation which I have so that
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah, let me do that. So are you able to see the slides now? Sanjay Ben, are you able to see this?
No.
I am moving the slides. It's on the slide. So any other people, are you able to see the slides?
Yes, we can see the slide.
We are able to see the slides.
So presently I am on the types of stem cells. Are you all able to see that slide? Types of stem cells?
Yes.
Okay. Sanjay Ben, in your screen, you are not able to see this?
Yes, now I can see.
Okay. So where do I go? Types of stem cell or further than that? Advantages?
Advantages of stem cell therapy.
So I have moved it to advantages of stem cell therapy.
Okay. So as I said, that it is safe autologous therapy because you avoid the risk of donor rejection. The ethically responsible because we don't use embryonic stem cells. The stem cells bring versatility because it has a very wide number of applications in various diseases. The treatment is faster because the collection of stem cell takes hardly much time, and the total treatment for the stem cell therapy is about half an hour to 45 minutes. And the recovery is also faster because you can do all the activities immediately after the procedure is done. It is healthier treatment because it is the highest rated treatment with most benefits, and you avoid complications of surgical treatment. Next slide.
I've changed the slide to indications of stem cell therapy.
Yeah. There are various indications of stem cell therapy. They can be used in life-threatening conditions and malignancies. It can be used in various types of anemias like aplastic anemia, congenital dyserythropoietic anemia, Fanconi's anemia, and other indications are spinal cord injuries, Parkinson's disease, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, heart disease, diabetes, stroke, burns, cancers, and many more. Let us see what is the cost of stem cell therapy. The stem cell therapy cost ranges from 15 lakhs to 25 lakhs, which depends upon the kind of transplant, whether it is allogenic or autologous transplant. Now, let us see what are the factors which affect the cost of bone marrow surgery in India. It depends upon the choice of hospital, kind of procedure, overall health of the procedure, and also the preoperative costing which cost around 10 to 15,000. If the special tests like CT, MRI, Doppler are done, which will again add to the cost. And the cost of transplant itself, as I said, is 15 to 25 lakhs. And other post-surgical follow-up would also cost about 10 to 15,000. So, friends, let us see whether the bone marrow transplant is affordable in India. No, because the cost is in lakhs. It is not cheap and affordable by general public. Almost 70% of the people who are diagnosed with leukemia are unable to undergo HSCT treatment due to financial constraint, and it is not covered under normal insurances. Now there are certain special insurances, but the premium is very high, which is also beyond the reach of people. The success rate of stem cell therapy with autologous stem cell transplant in multiple myeloid leukemia, the 3-year survival rate is about 79%. In bone cancers, the success rate is 50 to 75%. In knee replacement, it is almost 100%. In India, the overall success rate is about 60 to 80%. The success, again, as I said, depends upon the type of treatment, type of disease, the condition of the patient, and the stage of the disease. So are stem cells and regenerative medicine, they're living up to their promise? Let us see. The stem cell therapy's concept is deceptively simple. The people think that you take the cells from donor and put them into the patient and the disease is treated. However, reality falls short of the dream. The stem cell therapy and FDA regulations are very much important. The FDA regulations are not observed by so many people, and some use it for anti-aging treatment, which is totally illegal. There is controversy in using embryonic stem cells because it destroys the human blastocyst and fertilized egg. Embryo has some moral status and right as human. Most of the stem cell therapies are still theoretical rather than evidence-based. Very few stem cell therapies have actually reached the earliest phase of clinical trial. So we cannot use all these therapies unless they are proved. The cord blood, now let us see what about the cord blood stem cells. As I told you earlier, they are better than embryonic and adult stem cells because they are easily accessible and you can access in large number and you can preserve them for years. Now there are certain established criteria for the standardization of cord blood banks. The patient needs about 25 million cells per kilogram body weight. So for a patient who weighs 20 kg, 500 million cells are required. When the cells are taken out after the storage, approximately 20% of the cells, they lose the function. So in all, you need 750 millions of the cells for a 20 kg patient. So in all, 70 ml blood is required when you go for cord blood banking. And it has to be it is very important that cord should not have Wharton's jelly. It was studied and proved that more than 50% of the cord blood donations do not meet this criteria, and hence chances of rejection are very high. And in this scenario, it is not possible to cure the diseases. Now let us see, there are various types of cord blood banks. There are private banks and public banks. For private banks, the funding comes from the family, and for public bank, the funding comes from public, and it works on no profit, no share basis. The fees are charged when the unit is used. The aim of private banks are profit making, and there is aggressive marketing. While in public bank, there is a creation of an inventory of cord blood units for unrelated use. The beneficiary of private banks, it is available only to the donor and the family members of the donor. While in public bank, it is available to matched recipients nationally and internationally. Now let us see how the stem cells banks are coming up in India. They are mushrooming like mushrooms in India. Next. In US, by 2018, there were 432 stem cells bank. Globally today, more than 600 stem cell banks are available. In India, there are 16 private stem cell banks, 2 public banks, and 1 community bank. What BBC says? BBC says there is an unwarranted hype of stem cell therapies by the companies. Patients are misled about the risks and benefits. It was studied that only 26 out of 408 companies in USA, they mentioned the risk, and that too only low risk. These crowdfunding companies, they underplay the risk and overstate the benefits. Media also help to spread misinformation through the actors. Growing number of stem cell clinics are capitalizing on the hype of stem cell therapy, claiming to reverse the age-related conditions, and they claim that all the chronic illnesses, cancers, all cancers can be treated by stem cell therapies. These tactics take advantage of medically vulnerable population and exploit them. So let us see what are the quotes they are quoted by various companies. They quote that it is very easy, simple, quick, with very minimal side effects. Stem cell therapies can help curing 80 diseases, right from autism to cerebral palsy. Say bye-bye to untreatable diseases. Stem cell on, disease gone. So these are the quotes. They are quoted by various companies, and they just misinform the patients, and they take advantage of vulnerable group of patients. Now let us see what are the disadvantages of cord blood banking. We'll just take all these one by one. High cost, storage duration and retrieval, odds of requirement, disposal, insufficient amount when retrieved, baby is compromised on blood quantity, and there are limitations in the treatment. Now let us take one by one. We'll see how costly it is. The cost of stem cell collection and preservation in India is about 40 to 60,000. It is not cheap, and it is beyond the reach of many patients. But now there is a fashion, and it is considered to be dignity to go for stem cell banking. The companies pay the doctors under the name of service, and the doctors, they accept this amount under the name of service. AICOG recommends doctors to disclose this fact to the patients. Next. Now regarding the storing of stem cells, the samples are to be stored at minus 190 degree in the vapor phase of liquid nitrogen. How long the cord blood cells can be stored? The cord blood banking has only been in existence for last 25 years. So there is no scientific data which is available to prove that cord blood stem cells can be stored for longer than this time. The largest study by Boxmeyer says that stem cells engrafted were up to 22.5 years. Do the companies guarantee stem cell retrieval after whenever they are required? There is big no. Why? Let us see. Lisa Fortier, regenerative medicine researcher at Cornell University, she tested 9 products, but none contain stem cells. Millions of dollars are collected from people for questionable reality and utility in future. We collect the stem cell banks, they collect large amount of fund from the people. And do they guarantee when there is natural calamities, do they guarantee to collect your stem cell and for the use whenever needed? No. In natural calamities, your money is drained. We have many diseases to fight and so many preventive aspects to implement for many diseases. If we put all this amount which is collected from the stem cell banking to these preventive aspects of different diseases, we will be able to prevent many more diseases, we will be able to save many more lives, and we will be able to help the community at large by saving many people who are not affording to have this costly treatment. What are the odds that we will need our stem cells? Your baby may never need it in future. The chances of requiring in 10 years of life is 1 in 5,000, and by the age of 70, it is 1 into 200. Francis Water, PhD, founder and director of Parents Guide Cord Blood Foundation, estimated that only 1 in 217 chance is there that your child may ever need this. So this graph also shows that as people get older, the rates of cancer increases and the cumulative probability of having a stem cell transplant increases. And in United States, 1 in 217 people, that is 0.46%, will have a stem cell transplant at this age. Next. What about disposal? The private banks, they discard the stem cells when payment is not made or family no longer wants to preserve them. Whenever the stem cells are retrieved for the use, then the quantity would be sufficient? No. According to Martin Smith, founder and CEO, American Cord Registration, number of stem cells in 1 unit of cord blood is enough for a child up to 10 years only. And as I said, it is used only 1 in 5,000 of the stem cells reserved. So after the age of 10 years, if you require the stem cells, they are not in the sufficient amount. And in this scenario, the treatment of the disease is not proper. How the baby is compromised. By delayed cutting of cord, baby gets extra blood, which reduces risk of iron deficiency anemia to baby. The parents, whenever they go for stem cell collection, the parents should be made aware of this fact. AICOG recommends delayed cord clamping by 30 to 60 seconds so the baby is not compromised. When the disease exists into the donor cells like hemoglobinopathies or immunodeficiency, the use of own blood cell is contraindicated. If the child carries faulty gene, then the stem cells will also carry the faulty gene. In this case, you cannot utilize the donor cell for family members or siblings also. What are the disadvantages of stem cell research? As I said, embryonic stem cells can have high rejection rate. Adult stem cells have a determined cell type. Obtaining any form of stem cell is a difficult process. Stem cell treatment are an unproven commodity, and stem cell research is a high costly process. Now let us see what are the risks of using stem cells. Sometimes there is tumor formation and second cancer develops after the use of stem cell therapy. There is inappropriate stem cell migration after the treatment. There is immune rejection of transplanted stem cells. There may be hemorrhage during the surgery, and which can warrant a blood transfusion and can deteriorate the patient's condition. Even the post-operative infections are known to occur in stem cell therapy. There are certain bad experiences of using stem cell therapy. I would just quote some. In 2017, Doris Tyler, 77-year-old music teacher, she got treated for ARMD. She was able to see and read before stem cell therapy, and after the therapy, she is totally blind. 17 patients in US over last 1 year, they developed bacterial infection following stem cell therapy, which was confirmed by the Center for Disease Control. Jim Glass in Argentina developed spinal cell tumor following stem cell therapy for stroke and paralyzed his right leg, which was confirmed by DNA analysis. Now, previous slide, please. Professor Giulio Cosu from University of Manchester, what he says, it was his statement in last few months. He states private clinics are cashing in on patients' desperate search for treatments by offering unproven therapy. He also says that overall, I doubt that regenerative medicine will have an impact on a global health such as vaccines had, at least in the last immediate future. What the Lancet report says. It says regenerative medicine treatments tend to be very expensive because they often need special production facilities and highly skilled staff with health budgets squeezed in many countries. High costs are a barrier to make such therapies a reality. Is stem cell treatment legal in India? Only blood stem cell from bone marrow to treat blood cancers and different disorders are permitted. The clinical use in any other diseases or use of any stem cells other than this is still in research stage, and it is not available or permissible in India. Can hospital offer stem cell treatment for different ailments? No. As per NGSR 2017, it is considered unethical and a malpractice and is a violation of national guideline. No advertisement of stem cell therapy which violates rule should be allowed. The clinical trials need to be undertaken before a treatment can become part of routine medical practice. They must be registered with relevant national body in the country. There should be proper legislation and guidelines for such diseases. The public should also be educated for different aspects of stem cell therapy, its advantages and disadvantages. Ethical advertising standards need to be enforced to limit the dissemination of false information. So now let us see what are the recommendations. The American Academy of Pediatrics 2017, ACOG 2016, AMA 2007 and Indian Academy of Pediatrics 2018 have given recommendations. The general public should be provided accurate information about the clinical limitations and benefits of umbilical cord blood banking and transplantation as per the current available evidence. The parents of neonates should be provided accurate information that currently there is no scientific data to prove that autologous cord blood is of any value for regenerative medical purposes. So they should be told that for regenerative medical diseases, the stem cell is not yet proved. To ensure that umbilical cord blood is stored in sufficient number and made available when it is needed. Because of limitation of autologous umbilical cord blood, storage of cord blood for personal use is not recommended. Umbilical cord blood can be stored for personal use and cases of sibling or biological parents suffering for a disease curable by allergen HSCT. At AIMS, they do not encourage routine umbilical cord blood banking and undertake it in only specific indications as mentioned. Stems. So friends, the stem cells have enormous potential and is a hope for untreatable medical problems. However, the field is in its infancy and progress is painstaking, and patients' protection is of utmost importance. More than 3,500 different research studies are going on right now to define effectiveness of stem cell research and therapies, but the results are pending. Friends, the stem cells treatment has saved many lives, but there are elements of controversies. The road which finally joins the healing properties of stem cells to approved use of these stem cells on a routine basis is long and arduous. Stem cells regenerate hope, and not all that is happening in research is hype. So I would just like to quote here Margaret Hefferman. For good ideas and true innovation, you need human interaction, conflict, arguments, and debate. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjavan. That was very informative, and you took a lot of, it's a well-studied presentation, I would say.
Thank you.
Clarified a lot of misconceptions, and the very fact that this practice is being used in private sector to a large extent. The only problem is that parents are not aware about all these facts that you have stated. So it was an eye-opener. So the now house is open for any comments, questions. So is your society, Obs-Gynec Society, doing anything on this? You quoted guidelines by IAP, that's pediatrician, and AAP.
Yeah.
So what is the stand of Society for Obs-Gynec?
As such, there is no fixed recommendations are given. I see that even today, people, they go for stem cell banking and their patients are not aware, they are not well, they are just shown the rosy picture.
Hmm.
And the service charges are also accepted.
Yeah, so as a society, something has to be, like professional
Yeah.
bodies, they are meant for advocacy of their patients.
There
Like
should be a proper guideline for the doctors also, for the gynec obstetricians also, that they should go for this only in the conditions where it is going to help the patient and the family. Not a routine stem cell banking should be allowed.
Right. Any other comments?
I would like to comment that
Yes.
stem cells are on the baseline of all the cell lines, somatic adult cell lines. Sandhya, so
Yes.
the induced pluripotent stem cell, induced pluripotent stem cell from the stem cells from the gums and endometrium or
Yes.
skin. So today, FDA has approved only two places. One is hematopoietic stem cell implantation under proper hematological guidance, and second is in burns and in artificial skin. Other stem cell research, you search, it has failed terribly.
Yeah.
And thing is, now the science is growing so fast that just like the Japanese Samagachi or somebody who
Yeah.
created totipotent cells, induced iPSC,
I pay.
induced pluripotent stem cell. Same way, the new research will come later on. So, storing the umbilical cord blood is a scientific fraud. And I
Yeah.
have seen number of patients in 2 decades, right from in orthopedics to neurology. Most of the cells, you see the study in Parkinson's disease, in
Yeah.
multiple sclerosis, in some of the regenerative spinal injuries. People have no choice. And they have
Yes.
recurred from natural stem cells which are already present in the meninges and
Many
spine.
states. Yeah.
It has
Right.
never been proved that the stem cells which you have injected, the danger of the somatic stem cell is they can cause like another cancer in that place. They
Yeah.
are potent,
Second cancer.
potent. And the worst part is the blastocyst derived stem cells, which are called embryonic stem cells, have great potential. First with 8 divisions they capture, but that is totally unethical. That is okay,
It is
but it is a
unethical.
pure carcinogenesis. So
Yes.
today, even if the bone marrow transplant is expensive, it is ethical, proven. Our only hope is that basic scientists, cellular scientists, brings to us, and don't worry about our grandchildren or children. Their umbilical cord storage is not
Yeah.
needed. When the time comes, the scientists will find out newer cure.
Yeah.
Because I worked in
I
transfusion
totally
genetic
agree that
oncology.
umbilical cord blood banking is just a profit making for companies and all.
No, and I have been associated with carcinogenesis groups as a
Yeah.
preventive oncologist, and there the opinion of experts is this: that is
Yeah.
only the hematopoietic and bone marrow, and in very degenerative neurological diseases where I have no other choice for my son or anybody, sentimental decisions are taken, and every case has failed. And latest thing, if you search Google, the person in Korea has gone to jail for it.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
one comment from Dr. Ganesh Kumar that the take-home message is that if someone in our family asks us, can I invest in this, not lakhs, but thousands in storing my son's cord blood, the answer should be no. I think he is right in summarizing that it is not to be done. But the question which I have, Dr. Sandhya, is we talk about in our fora also, we talk about having a public, cord blood banking.
Public money. Yeah.
Which is the preferred mode of, so that others can use the, like blood bank,
Yeah.
the, cord blood public banking.
public
Do
bank.
you have in India any such public, cord blood banking?
There are 2 public banks in India.
Okay. Where are they?
And to whom will they cater, madam? Whom will they give in which indication?
No, see, the public banks, they collect blood. Whosoever parents are ready to donate the cord blood, they just come and collect the blood, and they
Whom they
put it in
give
the
it?
public bank. And whenever it is needed, they use for the matched patients nationally anywhere from India.
No, which medical indication, madam? For which indication?
All this is on a infancy and research basis. In India also, there is no proved study that this can be used in this disease.
So
In
instead of
pediatric
using
childhood
autologous, it becomes heterologous stem cell. So it can be
Stem
used
cells.
in any family. So it's like a blood banking, where it's the public
Yeah.
blood banking, when somebody's blood can be used for others. So whereas in what we do
Yeah, but
today
he says in what
commercially is for the
diseases?
same person or the same family, where it may be
Yeah.
actually contraindicated. So
Dr. Hemant Bhai is asking in what diseases. Still, it is not proved in what diseases and how will you use, because it is still in the research stage. All the diseases, what they are studying.
Sandhya, they are used in hematological diseases of childhood where bone marrow is not enough for the child to be transplanted, and then the haplo tested.
That is the only indication which is allowed in India.
No, from that blood, it is not heterogeneous transplantation, what Satish Bhai said. It is a haplo-tested blood group A, B, C are matched, and other haplo-testing are done, and only that blood can...
only after matching, they would give.
And only to a child with blood cancer, bone marrow, where it is hematologist thinks that this mass is inadequate for transplantation.
right.
Right.
Thank you, Hemant, for those very useful comments informing us about use of such public banking. So any other comments or question? No, I don't think there are any hands raised. So we end the session here. Thank you, Sandhya Ben, for this informative.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining. We meet next Saturday morning again. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.